That'd be absolutely devastating.
Oh! This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to G.W.R. Gonzo'S Wrestling Room, Monday, June 5th, 2023. I'm Chris Gonzo'S, joined by Tony Gonzalez, and then, as always, joined by Marcus Fine. How's it going, Marcus?
Doing good.
Well, I know you had a busy weekend in wrestling. The show's pretty good this weekend?
Yeah, they weren't bad. I have nothing to complain about. That's always a good thing, I guess. No, they were pretty good.
All right. Well, then I'll let you get started, and I'll finish getting this shared real quick.
You want to go over the shows that you went to? And
All righty, will do. Friday, I was at the Dub, as coming pretty regular down there. Okay, let's see. Highlights of the show: Ruthless Domination defeated the returning Buck Sexton and Jake Phoenix. And that match ended when Buck Sexton decided he was done and he left. So then Ruthless beat up on Jake and pinned him. And I don't know if there's going to be a feud between Buck and Jake, but we'll find out, I guess. Zay Gates defended Jackson Morgan to retain his Gunslinger title. Dutch Boy Platinum defeated Cousin Cooter to retain the territorial title. And Dex Royal defeated Rachel Armstrong in the main event. And Dex is definitely a heel now because he beat the living hell out of her. So it was pretty rough. And then I was in Crawfordsville on Saturday. Thomas Keith defeated Ace Anderson and TK0 to become the new Cruiserweight champion. TK0's had that title, I'm thinking 2 years now, so we finally have a new Cruiserweight champion in Crawfordsville. The match of the whole weekend, Dalton Love defeated Dutch Boy Platinum, and neither one of them were champions there, but it's unique because they're both the top two champions at WCWO, but heck of a match. And my second match of the weekend was Justin Myers defeated Luke Savage, and that was very well done too. And then the main event was Excalibur and Zay Gates defeated the NGW tag team titles, Buck Sexton and Jesse Winchester, but it was a non-title match. So Buck and Jesse keeps their titles.
Kelly says in the comments it's hard for her to see Dex as a heel for her. How do you feel about that?
I think he plays the heel very well. Like I said, he beat the hell out of Rachel. They've been friends forever, and man, he hit in the ring. He came over to the side that we're normally on, but the other corner next to the wall, and kind of sat down on the second rope, and he just sat there until it was time. Then he just, she didn't hardly have any offense on him at all.
Really?
He was just beating the hell out of her all week, or the whole match. So hot in the Dub. It was like 90 degrees. I'd say they probably had maybe 60 people, and Crawfordsville was a sellout, or pretty close to it. So
that's good. At this time of year, Friday night, be able to draw that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, Crawfordsville about a sellout. That's great.
Yeah, they did well.
Especially with how nice the weather was this weekend, as well as one of the nicer weekends that we've had in
quite a while.
Now a lot of the pools and stuff are open now too. It's being after Memorial Day, so it's trying to be more things for people to do outside. And I know you have a lot of people that play baseball. There's a lot of their season-ending tournaments and stuff that was going on these next couple weeks.
Travel ball, you got basketball, AAU. I see a lot of people going to tournaments doing that.
And they finished up graduations too, because we know Rob Pugh's daughter Samantha graduated Saturday, and I'm thinking I seen somebody else graduated Saturday as well.
Yeah, I know
seen a few.
there was graduations around here this weekend.
What's up, Chris?
Chris.
Chris's son graduated this weekend. I think I seen that.
Yep. Hey, how's it going, Billy? That was Kelly talking about Dex. You'd already read that one off.
What's up, Jonathan?
Wrong button. Hey, how's it going, Damien?
Damien?
I'm going to go ahead and, if you guys don't care, I'm going to start with a recap of what happened in wrestling on TV this week. First thing, and I'm just touching stuff that caught my eye. If something didn't catch my eye, I'm not going to worry about it. The big thing, TV SmackDown, the Usos with Solo looking like they're at the end of the show. Looked like Solo was going to go with the Usos and go against Roman Reigns. And then he turned against the Usos and or at least against Jimmy. He kicked Jimmy and left the ring with Roman and Paul Heyman and Jey Uso. You don't know where he's going to stand. He's just kind of standing there. So keeping the storyline going. It's pretty interesting. I know they got big ratings for the show. I think it was over 2.5 million. So they did very well on Friday night. So
hey, Rick Winters, thanks for joining us as well. He made a comment on one of the posts, but it didn't show up on here.
He's one of our
So I'm gonna
Kokomo
make sure-
guys.
Yep. A match you might be interested in, Marcus, to take a look at. Me and Chris was really impressed with these guys. It was on AEW Rampage. It's I'm familiar with a couple of the wrestlers. Well, I've heard of all three of them. They're pretty much luchadors. By Kino, he's a champion for the AAA Mega Championship. He took on Commander and Dragolisto in a three-way match for the belt for the Mega Championship, AAA Mega Championship, and it was outstanding. I'm not a huge AEW guy, and I'm not big on the flipping, flying stuff, but these guys put on a show. They did moves I've never seen before, and what I liked about it, that's what I told Chris, was it was fluid. It wasn't. Of course, the stuff's planned. I understand that. They've got their stuff planned out, but it didn't look planned. It looked like they was hitting this stuff full speed. Boom, 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 and it was really good. Chris, what'd you think? I mean,
no, it was real good.
It was the opening match. It probably should have been the main event. They had all championship matches, and they were all titles not really associated with AEW. It was like Ring of Honor or different titles, and look, they took some heat for that. And then I hear that Bryan Danielson had a big, I guess he's doing some of the backstage stuff now also, and he was part of that. But then the ratings came out, and it was one of the worst ratings they've ever had. So they only had about 350,000 people watch. So the ratings wasn't good. Again, Friday night at 10 o'clock. That's a tough time spot for anybody. I don't, So, but that match was very good. It was really good. That was a match that really caught my eye. Then I watched a couple of pay-per-views this weekend, about 3/4 of one and all of another one, and it was 2 days. A Game Changer Wrestling Tournament of Survival 8, and it was a deathmatch tournament. And it started out with 4 matches that had 3 people in each match, and then the winners of each match met into semifinals, one-on-one, and then you had your finals, which ended up being won by Rina Yamashita, who's a female. She competed against males, and there was a couple other females in the tournament also, and it was really good. Other than too many light tubes, which we've been critical of before, there was a lot of light tubes. She likes to take light tubes and smash them over her own head.
She was biting them.
She even was biting them and crunching them up in her mouth. But there was some other good spots. I mean, there was a lot of good other hardcore stuff, which led to the next night when they had the second part of the pay-per-view, which was called Cage of Survival. And Marcus, they built this cage. And
Damnedest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, damnedest thing I've ever seen too. One side was just a fence. The other side was a fence with barbed wire. The other side,
but it was leaned like this. It was tilted.
It was tilted.
One side the cage was like normal. This side it was tilted, and there was like a bed of barbed wire in it.
The other side was glass.
was tilted
The glass.
with a big sheet of glass laying on the fence.
And then the other side was scaffold,
It was
probably 14 feet high.
And that was Game Changer.
Game changer.
I'll have to look that up because I'm sure that'll hit.
And it was
it was crazy. It was one of the. Because I told him afterwards, I said, Marcus likes hardcore. I know he don't like the glass, but he would probably like
yes,
this.
it was violent. I tell you.
I'm curious.
Yamashita winning that tournament, she got to be in the cage match against the champion, which was also a female. She's the main champion. It's Masha Slamovich, and they had a match, and it was really good. And then there's a guy who won a Money in the Bank briefcase, but he won a contract to be able to challenge anytime. So he joins the match right at the end and wins the title. And we came close to a riot, Marcus. They was throwing anything and everything in that ring because he's not a hardcore guy. He's a more wrestler, high flyer, a little bit of high flying, a little bit more wrestling, and the fans didn't like it. So it was a pretty good show. It was pretty good. The other show that I watched, which you would know about the history of this, the NWA Crockett Cup. NWA had a Crockett Cup. They had that this weekend.
I've seen it. I think it was on Yelp.
Yeah, the show was a pretty good show. The winner of the Crockett Cup tournament, which I think had 32 teams in it or something like that, was Trevor Murdoch and Mike Knox. They won the championship. With both those guys have been in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Murdoch was a few years ago. Knox was also. A couple of things that was interesting about that pay-per-view. Ricky Morton turned bad guy. Ricky Morton and his son was in the tournament, and him and Kerry Morton turned bad. And
What is that
Ricky,
supposed to mean?
I'm not sure. Mike King giving us some hell. But
So Ricky Morton turned bad?
yes,
Kelly said,
and he hasn't been bad
Not since he was
very
Michael
often.
Richard Morton when he was part of that. And I don't remember him since being bad.
Yeah, I think he was kind of bad when Cornette brought him in to the WWE for just a few weeks.
Oh, yeah. They were in Indy for one of the Raws one night.
And they were kind of bad. But that was a very short period of time. So now he hasn't been a bad guy very much in his career. I thought the pay-per-view was pretty good. If you like real old school wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
you will like that. One of the problems he has, though, in my opinion, is he's pushing older people, like not that they're super old, but guys like Murdoch and Knox. And I understand why he's doing it because they do have some kind of names. But I think he's got to go younger with it. Now he is with his female talent. He's going younger because I don't think he has much of a choice. But he's going pretty young with that, and they seem decent. But I think that's one of the problems with NWA, and then not having a TV deal hurts them. Hurts him quite a bit. Kelly Fine says Mike King sucks. Okay, that was kind of my recap for the
that was her reaction to the DCCW saying that looks like you guys are trying to land a damn plane.
Yeah, I don't understand.
That has to do with your
I mean,
headsets.
okay. Maybe. He thinks, I guess that's what it must be.
And then Damien.
I can see that now. Okay. But you don't want me driving a plane. I can't drive a car. So. Chris, what did you think of that Game Changer Wrestling? And then,
what I watched, like I said, I didn't watch all of it, but I did watch that main event match. That was crazy. It was good. I enjoyed it, but it was, like when she got thrown onto that fence that was laid like this, that was just basically a net of barbed wire. She hit it and you can see her start to slide, and then they went through a barbed wire door, and then one girl's hair got caught in, and I swear it took
5 minutes,
at least 5 minutes to get her out of that barbed wire.
They couldn't get her hair out of that barbed wire. They had to cut it out.
Yeah, Mick Foley had that issue once too.
Yeah,
she was stuck. She was stuck on top of the other girl that was laying on barbed wire.
Yeah,
and her hair's in barbed wire. It was.
Yeah.
It took about 5 minutes. They got broke apart. Then they started beating the hell out of each other again.
One of the craziest things when they threw, it happened twice. They tried to throw.
They had these big panes of glass. I don't know. They're probably at least, I would say, half-inch thick, maybe. I mean, they weren't like real thin glass. You could tell, and they had the one that laying in the corner, and she like flipped her on it, and the girl hit it and just bounced
off of it. She didn't bust.
Sounds like Scrubbies in the doors.
Then she grabbed her and threw her through it. And then they had it one
in the fence,
and
she hit it, and it didn't bust. So then she gets up on the top rope and does like a crossbody off the top rope, and the way they had the camera angle underneath it, when the glass exploded, it looked cool as hell.
It did look really cool.
But there was people. I mean, it's leaned over, and there's people sitting right there. Probably 5 feet from the end of that cage. And the way they got it tilted, Marcus, they had freaking ratchet straps on it from the fence to the pole of the ring, and they have it tilted like this, and they jumped off the top rope into this.
Yeah, I mean, I think could have
busted. They're holding it up with fucking ratchet straps. It
was nothing fancy.
It was crazy, but it was entertaining. I'll give it that.
Okay.
I came here. He goes, "You got to come here and see what they're about ready to do." I ended up sitting out there watching all of it.
Well, instead they was going to
watching that match.
They was going to a 15-minute break, and the 15 minutes counts down and goes to 0.
I wondered what you was doing because I went out to smoke and it was all like a countdown thing.
Yeah.
Okay, he's waiting. There must be an intermission. And I come back and the countdown thing was still on.
It goes to 0, and then another 10 minutes is put up. I said, "What's going on?"
Because they don't have the cage put together yet.
It goes to 0 again. They put notes. So it took 35 minutes to get the thing put together. And
I'm like, 4 intermissions all at once, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and they ran the whole thing with no intermissions to the last match, and then took 35 minutes to get that together.
Well, I'm telling you, getting it up in 35 minutes was pretty damn quick with all that shit they had. I mean, there was stuff everywhere.
Yeah, it was.
You had that big scaffold, and a sidewalk slam off a scaffold. I've never seen nothing like that.
It did a sidewalk slam off the scaffold
through like 3 doors.
Yeah, they had doors. It was weird, but it was weird. They had 3 pretty heavy cord doors. It was pretty thick.
Yeah, and then put one
on top of it,
and put one across the other way.
All they busted was that one door. The other 3 didn't bust. And I'm like, I don't know, but them two ladies put on a show.
Oh yeah, it was fun. I mean, like I said, it was fun to watch.
Well, our topics that we had was for this week. I had your favorite tag team matches.
How's it going, Gary?
And favorite promos, and we'll start with the promos if that's okay with you guys. And I wrote down a top 5 promos from Ranker, and then we'll go from there. They had number 5, Ric Flair Royal Rumble victory speech. Number 4, they had, and I forgot about this one. Randy Savage would come out with that little just a little bit of cup of cream.
It's on my list.
Yeah, cream of the crop. That was a weird promo, but it was effective. It was good. At number 3, they had CM Punk Pipe Bomb. Number 2, they had Dusty Rhodes Hard Times. Number 1, they had Stone Cold King of the Ring. Also 316.
That game changer. Would they have that match on YouTube?
Probably. If it's up already, I don't know, but it could be.
Billy was asking. He said, "Where can I watch this pay-per-view?" Yeah, it was on it's on Fight TV.
It was on Fight TV.
Is what it was on, but it might be on. They might have it on YouTube now.
You probably can find a clip of it. It was the Cage of Survival was Saturday or Sunday night. It was the Cage of Survival, and then the tournament was on Saturday night.
Yeah,
and that was their.
It was called Cage of Survival. Was that Sunday, match? Yes. That match was crazy. But I saw some of the other matches and they were good. I didn't watch the whole thing like he did. But
and that's the other thing about that too.
It's not all death matches.
They really kind of remind me the format a little bit of ECW because they have some regular wrestling match. They have scrambles. They have some regular wrestling also, and then they have a lot of death matches too. So they try to mix it up. Their fan base is really good. I think he's making money. I think that he does all these shows. I think most of them are $7.99, $9.99 pay-per-view shows, and then he'll have a
pretty big crowd there.
I'd say he had over 1,000. He sells out what buildings he goes to. Not all of them huge, but if you're selling tickets for $20, $30, $40 and you got 1,000, you're not doing bad.
No, not at all.
And of course, I don't know what these wrestlers make, but I think he's got a pretty good thing going.
Seems like he's doing shows like every weekend.
I know he's been offered TV deals and he's turned them down. He said that he don't want to water down his product. He's happy with what he's got. Seems to be doing pretty well.
Kevin Mitchell said Arn Anderson retirement speech promo was great.
Yeah, that's the one where they're making fun of him.
Oh,
I'm thinking that's what he's talking. Brings his cooler from his car. And No, that's when they made fun of him. He did the retirement speech like the week prior.
Okay. The promos that I had down.
Did you go through all your list?
That was the.
Yeah, did you go through all those? Did we stop? I asked you a question in the middle of one.
Yeah, I just did the top 5.
Okay.
That was my ranker. That was their top 5. And then my list, number 5, I had the Ultimate Warrior's his final night he was on, and that promo he did, it was like the day before he passed away.
You mean like his eulogy? Everybody thought he wrote his own eulogy?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. I mean, it's what it seemed like. It really did, because you wonder if he knew he was dying. I mean, you really do. The way he said everything and the way he acted. Number 4, Daniel Bryan's retirement. The real, where he really did retire in the ring. Of course, did come back. Mark Henry's fake retirement speech. I don't know if you guys remember that when Cena came out, and that was outstanding. One I really liked that's not talked about a lot was Mick Foley, and when he kind of turned against hardcore wrestling because they were saying King Dewey. I don't know if you guys have seen that promo or not. I really liked it.
Yep.
And then one that I liked because it was real, The Miz on Talking Smack with Daniel Bryan, where they went at it and it was real. I mean, they was on that Talking Smack, and Miz is talking crap to Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan told him why he didn't respect him because he thought he was chicken, and Miz went crazy. And if you haven't seen that one, it's really good. And it was real. They both were mad. And that was the okay. I had a few more on here that
I got more than 5. So
yeah, I had like 5 or 6 more.
But first his girlfriend has to call him.
It was my daughter. Okay, Hogan's heel turn.
Yeah. I don't have that on there, but that was good because that was a riot.
I have that wrote down.
Piper's Pit with Snuka. That was always one of my favorites. I mean, I don't know if that's a promo, but also had Chris Jericho's debut promo when he came in with the Y2J.
I got that one wrote down too.
I don't have that one.
Paul Heyman's one night stand promo at 2005.
I just wrote down Paul Heyman because there was a bunch of promos with him that I really liked.
Another, of course, it was part of that list was the Ric Flair, tear in the eye, victory speech at the Royal Rumble, one of my favorites. I don't know if these are promos, but I've got them down as a couple of my favorites. Vince in the hospital and Mr. Sacco. I guess that's more of a skit.
Yeah, but that's fine. Go ahead and say him. That's funny too.
Yeah, and then the other one was The Rock, This Is Your Life with Mick Foley and The Rock.
See, I had that wrote down too.
I don't know if it's a promo, more of a skit.
Okay, so let's next week do the skits along with the other one you had.
Okay.
Because I as soon as you said that, about 5 of those hit my head on things I already started laughing about. So
yeah, we can do the skits, and I've got another thing to go with the other one too. So we can put all those 3 things together. We'll talk about it.
Another one I had wrote down. Promo was Steve Austin after winning King of the Ring when he debuted Austin 316. I had Hogan's heel turn, but even back in the day, the Hulkamania promos.
Yes,
I remember them. I grew up in that era, but those were always some of my favorites.
That's right. My clock will go off here in about 4 minutes, so we're all getting right on time here. Time to stir the dogs up.
See, Mark Henry was one I believed it to the swerve.
I did too.
Billy said Mr. Sacco was funny as hell. Yeah, I would have some footage of Mr. Sacco on one of our shows, but I got Dalton Love and Luke Savage instead.
Wonder why that is.
I think it was a guest we had on this past week, I think.
I think it might have been.
Oh, I'll never forget that. I was editing that video. Oh, I was like, what the? And then Ric Flair and some of his WCWO promos. I can't remember like exact one, but they're
WCWO.
WCW promos.
Oh, I thought you said
I think he said it too. I think he said it too, but I do that.
Yeah.
I might have, but
I want to know when he was in WCWO. I was going to look that up.
Well,
I might have been, who knows?
he might have been. You never know.
But
I'll talk to
well,
Joey.
when he first started about the limousine ride, and
I have that on my list too.
I also had Jericho with the Y2J, but even when Jericho started the list,
Yeah.
Them always cracked me up.
Yep.
And Mick Foley, I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was in like a boiler room,
Yeah.
sitting down.
Sitting down. Yep.
That was one I always really that promo I always really liked.
Well, you saying that, I think of one where he has one with it's an interview with Jim Ross.
Yeah, it sets him on fire.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I had Mick Foley, but that's more of a skit, so we'll talk about that next week. Jake the Snake Roberts had some good promos as well. The CM Punk pipe bomb, that was one that was good. I think that's about all of them I have that you hadn't added. You didn't say.
Okay, Marcus.
I got a whole bunch of them. But first, I want to shout out to Kate Parrish. Speaking of promos, I seen one of the best promos ever done Saturday night by Kate Parrish in Crawfordsville. She did not have an opponent Saturday night, but she came out. She's arrogant. She's got one of them arrogant attitude gimmicks going. And she turns and looks at the crowd. She says, "Hey, you look like you could be my next ex-husband." And then she says, "Hardly, I wouldn't touch you." And then it went on. And it was fantastic.
Cool.
It's one of the best promos I'd ever seen in a long time. So she's coming along pretty well for her training. So
good. That's great.
She's going to take on Thunder Kitty in August. And she
All right.
started promoing on Thunder Kitty, but she couldn't remember Thunder Kitty's name, I don't think. But it was fantastic. There it is, 7 o'clock.
It's time, 7 o'clock.
Well, yeah. Speaking of promo like an independent, Jordan James at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
He done a couple there that was real good.
And we'll wait till my clock's done. But I got a whole bunch of them. I did go back and look at Steiner Math. I had never seen that. And I pulled Steiner Math up. I thought, damn, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
How
it
he
is.
could keep up with that, not lose a second, rambling off all that. I'm thinking, this is fantastic. So, yeah, Steiner Math was awesome, and I'd never seen that before. So, I'm surprised this didn't come out anywhere. Arn Anderson and the creation of the Four Horsemen name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Piper's Pit WrestleMania 8 set up for Bret Hart, talking about staying at the Hart Mansion in Calgary and eating bologna and all that. I thought that was always a good one. Of course, Ric Flair's limo ride, jet flying, kiss stealing one. Savage's cream of the crop. He did another one with a coffee cup. I think it had cream in it too. It all bounced around the cream. But that one where he's got that little...
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes, King and Queen's Pork and Beans. The Austin 316. And then I had Sid Vicious, half a brain, because he slipped. He says, you're half the man and I have half the brain that you have. And they're trying to keep from laughing. Okay, now I'm going to go way back. Andy Kaufman's soap promo. You remember that?
Yep.
This soap.
Yep.
And then if you look really hard, there's one that Terry Funk is cutting a promo on Jerry Lawler because Jerry Lawler wants to move to Florida. And Terry Funk pours oil on him and dirt, and he says, this is what a Florida cracker looks like. See, it's kind of politically incorrect to say it now. But and he pours Quaker State, he throws dirt on him, and he's talking about Florida crackers. And And he's sitting there doing this because now that stuff's just dripping in his eyes. He's been, so
Yeah, I'm
that's
gonna have
what
to
I
look at
had.
that one up 'cause I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Just put in Terry Funk oil promo and it'll come right up. And it was like the 80s, early 80s. So
Yeah.
I had Flair, Hogan, Funk, and Jake Roberts as 4 of the top promo guys in the business. And I know there's a lot more, but that's the 4 that came up.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't have any
Another one.
specific pick, but
I did have one more.
should come under.
The
I'm sorry.
Rock. It was on the Raw, and it was before Hell in a Cell in 2000. But he was kind of does impressions of Rikishi and Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Talking about Stone Cold. I think it's like 5 of them in that
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell match, and he
does
did a
all the
promo about
impressions
all of them.
Yep. Yep.
That one was a real good promo as well. Triple H.
Well, we'll move on to our favorite tag team matches. Marcus, you want to go first on this one?
All right, I got 2 pages. So I got several top 5s. So I guess in no particular order. And this is favorite tag team matches, right?
Yep.
I hope that because that's what I wrote down. So
Good matches.
Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Bam Bam Gordy defeating the Samoa SWAT team for the unified titles. I mean, I think Williams and Gordy already had a set of titles, and then they took the titles off the Samoan SWAT team. It was a Night of Champions, whatever they used to call that. Clash of Champions.
Yep.
Is on one of those. Then I had Hogan and Beefcake versus the $1 Million Man and Andre at SummerSlam 88. Hogan and Macho Man versus Akeem and Big Boss Man at Main Event 89. That's where I think Akeem fell out of the ring. That's the setup for when Savage attacked Hogan because he took Elizabeth to the back because she got hit. And okay, let's see. Austin.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be.
We saw Ric Flair at a amateur wrestling event, a national tournament we were at.
That's pretty cool.
Billy said when he worked third shift in Carolina, a convenience store, ran into Ric Flair.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen that.
Stunning Steve Austin and Brian Pillman, the Hollywood Blondes, taking on Ricky Steamboat and Tom Zink in a cage match. And Steamboat and Tom Zink came out in hoods. It was one of the main pay-per-views, but I can't think what it was. And I think they took the titles off of them. Popular man tonight.
Yeah, evidently.
Ric Flair and Barry Windham versus Bobby Eaton and Sweet Stan Lane. I've always been a Midnight Express fan.
So,
The Fantastics versus the Midnight Express in Indianapolis in 1988. I was there. That's why I pulled that one out. And then I had Strike Force versus the Hart Foundation in Indianapolis, and I'm thinking it was about 1990. And the Hart Foundation was still the champ. Strike Force hadn't beat him yet. Page 2. I'm like Paul Harvey. Page 2. I'm sure Bruiser and Crusher versus the Blackjacks probably hit yours, Tony, did it not?
yep.
Okay. Demolition versus Andre and Haku when Andre turned back to face because
Yep.
Bobby slapped him.
Yep.
The first ECW show on TNN, I think it was. Tommy Dreamer and Raven defeated the Dudleys for the tag titles because the Dudleys were coming to WWE.
Yep.
And what's this one? Oh, Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho defeating Austin and Triple H. You got the TLC match from WrestleMania 17?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I figured you did. What's this one? Oh, that's what that one is. The British Bulldogs versus the Hart Foundation. And the good thing about that is because all those guys trained together, were practically related to each other.
Yep.
And then I had the Hart Foundation versus the Rockers. It was a Saturday night's main event, but I don't think it aired because I think that's the night the rope broke.
Yeah, I think so. They won didn't they win the titles or?
Well, they were supposed to, but the rope broke and then it never aired. And
They
if I
ended up
remember the story,
taking the titles back.
Yep.
but that's what I had. So that's my top, whatever that is.
I had those last two matches I had Rockers and Hart Foundation. Actually, last three because I had the Edge Christian and Hardy's and Dudley's TLC match at WrestleMania as well. And Hart Foundation, British Bulldogs. I had a Rock and Roll Express against the Midnight Express.
I had that down too.
Steiner's versus Road Warriors.
Oh, wow. I don't remember that.
And then Road Warriors and
Was
Dusty
that,
Rhodes.
I'm sorry, was that WWE or was that
I think it was
NWA?
WCW.
I know they wrestled. I know they wrestled in WWE. I'm not sure about.
Might have been
WCW.
WWE. I can't remember now.
Yeah,
I
I have to
remember
look that up.
No, I think it might have been WCW. Actually, I think it was when they had went back to WCW later on, like
So I was thinking it was
95.
WCW.
Yeah, I think it was. I think they did wrestle. I think it was WCW. Now you said that.
And then I had the Road Warriors, Dusty Rhodes, Nikita Koloff against the Horsemen at War Games.
Yep, War Games.
Demolition and the Road Warriors, Harlem Heat, Nasty Boys, and then Dudley Boys versus the Brothers of Destruction. Was another real good one. I think that was all of them I had.
Of course, Marcus, that's some that I had, so I won't go over them again. But some other ones I had NXT Takeover 2, the Revival, which is FTR now in AEW, against DYI, which is Gargano and Ciampa. Is outstanding match. If you haven't seen that, you might check that out. Usos against the New Day and Hell in a Cell 2017. That was really good. Usos and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 39. I thought that was a really good match.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I've seen
it. In the story and everything. So that was really good. FTR versus the Briscoe Brothers. Actually, I think it was the Briscoe Brothers last match.
I knew you were going to have that one all there.
Dog collar match, tag team, outstanding.
When we go off air, remind me to talk to you about what you just said, and that's as far as I'm going with it because I don't want it out there because I don't know if they want it out there. But.
Okay, yeah, the Briscoe Brothers. Again, I think that may have been their last tag team match together before the brother got killed in a car accident. If it wasn't, it was one of the last for sure. The Young Bucks versus the Lucha Dragons in a steel cage. You, Stevie, watched that match. It was outstanding. That was good. And I'm not a huge Young Bucks fan, but it was a really good match. The Steiner brothers against Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Outstanding. Some of the hardest.
Because they were all stiff. So.
Yep. Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express. Anytime them guys wrestled, it was a clinic. It was just outstanding.
Which Midnight Express did you prefer? I really liked Eaton and Lane. Eaton and Condrey was all right, but I really liked Eaton and Lane the best.
Eaton and Lane added something to it just athletically, I think. More of an athlete. Condrey was athletic too. I mean, not Condrey. Even though not Condrey, Eaton was very athletic, even though he didn't look like it. He could do all kinds of top rope stuff, but he didn't look in the best shape necessarily. But again, Bully Ray says that Eaton is the greatest tag team wrestler of all time, in his opinion.
Eaton was very good, yes.
Okay, I had Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, and the Hardy Boys. The ladder match at TLC SummerSlam 2000, and then also WrestleMania 17. They wrestled both those.
I think they've done 3 of them.
Something like that. Here was one that I seen, and I would assume maybe you've seen this, Marcus. Maybe not. The Road Warriors taking on, and I'm not sure I'm going to say this right. I know his last name's Tenaru.
Is this in Japan?
Yes.
Yes, I've seen that.
Tenaru and Hulk Hogan. They took on Tenaru and Hulk Hogan. The Road Warriors did at WrestleFest 1991.
Mm-hmm. I have seen that.
Okay. Midnight Express and the Road Warriors at 1987 Crockett Cup. I believe it was a quarterfinal match, actually.
Well, the Road Warriors won that year, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I believe so. Starrcade 87, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard against the Road Warriors. And then the Hart Foundation and Demolition, 1990 SummerSlam, 2 out, 3 falls.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. I think I've seen probably 90% of those.
Yep. And then I had some questions also again. I made up. Let's see here. This is overall who was better. This is taking everything in consideration. Ring, promo work, taking everything in consideration. Nikita Koloff or Ivan Koloff?
I don't remember Ivan doing a lot of promo work. I know he did. Man, 2 different eras, kind of.
Yep.
I know they teamed with each other,
And
but
a lot of people forget that Ivan was a WWF champion.
yeah, he ended
He beat
Bruno's
Bruno.
first reign, and then Pedro took it off him.
Yep.
Man, I'd have to say Ivan.
You remember them too? I know you remember
Ivan in
some
the
of that.
70s, Nikita in the 80s. We'll go that route.
I'm gonna say I've seen more Nikita than I have Ivan.
Yeah. Well, Ivan brought Nikita in, into that.
I was a fan
I'm
of
going with
Ivan.
Ivan also. Yeah. The next one I had, overall, who's better, William Regal or Dean Malenko?
William.
I'm gonna say Regal.
I'm going to go with Regal because of his promo work.
And Regal from his training, because he was trained in a rough way. I don't remember what they call that, but it wasn't traditional wrestling training.
Yeah. Well, he was a bare knuckle fighter in Blackpool, England.
Yeah. And all that training was totally different than, I go Regal.
That's a good pick there. I forgot about Bear Money and the Motor City Machine Guns. TNA. That's a very good match. Somebody put it out there.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
It's good. Beer Money is a really underrated tag team. Very good. And the Motor City Machine Guns are.
Did that match just happen here recently?
No, I don't believe so. No, it'd been a few years ago. Next one, better overall, Diamond Dallas Page or Scott Hall?
Page. Till you make you think about it.
Yeah, see, I go towards Hall.
Page trained Hall, didn't he, or had a big part in Hall, right? I know he brought him in as the Diamond Stud.
Yeah, they were friends, but I don't think he trained Hall because he started because Hall started late. Dusty trained
Page.
Diamond started late. I think Dusty had something to do with that.
I'll go Razor. Yeah, I'll go Razor Ramon. His work as Razor Ramon was better than his Scott Hall stuff.
Yep, I agree with that definitely.
Yep.
Here's an interesting one. I think is pretty interesting. Arn Anderson or Tully Blanchard?
Ooh, buddy.
Both were good in the ring. Both were really good at promos too. Both had about the same success as far as winning the TV titles and U.S. titles and things like that.
I'm gonna say Anderson, but I saw Anderson, I think, more than I did.
Well, I'm gonna go Tully.
That's tough.
Yeah, that is tough.
Just because I was more a fan of Anderson, I'll go with Anderson, but I can argue Tully also, which I think all these you can about argue the other way. This one I think is interesting. Sherry Martel versus Medusa.
As wrestling, my goodness. Because neither one of them wrestled a lot. They were more valets and
they both were managers too.
Yeah.
Both were valet managers. I went with Sherry Martel. She was one of my favorites.
Go Sherry also.
I'd go Sherry.
Ric Flair, Bret Hart.
Oh, son of that ain't fair.
You're splitting. Oh, man.
That's not fair. That's two of my favorites there.
I'll go Flair. It's it's close, but I will go Flair.
I have to go Flair. It's close, but
I like Medusa as well, but I think Sherry. See,
Well,
it's
no,
once you get to thinking
Yeah.
about it,
yeah. Sherry's career seemed longer to me. I mean, more steady. Let me put because I know Medusa went and wrestled Japan some, so she was out of the limelight. I think that may hurt her a little bit.
well, then she went off to run monster trucks,
Yep, it's true.
and
who'd you have? Flair, Bret Hart.
It's very tough because you sit there and think about it. Flair on the mic, no doubt, better than Hart, but not by a lot, not as much as some people think. But in the ring, I think Flair could go the 60 minutes, but a lot of people, and he's been criticized for this, a lot of people say he wrestled the same match a lot, where I think Brett was more versatile in the ring. Man, that's tough. Just because I like him more personal favorite, the guy that I grew up on would be Flair. So I would probably give a slight edge to Flair, but it'd be tough. Now I'm going the other way. This is worst wrestling gimmicks, and this is guys against each other. Tugboat versus Disco Inferno.
as the worst Tugboat.
See, I think Disco Inferno. I hated Disco Inferno.
Just you're talking about just a gimmick?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, then he went on to what? Being Glenn, Gerald, Bernie, and Tugboat went on to be Typhoon. So one improved themselves and one went the other way.
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh man, I'd probably say Disco Inferno as well. I was never a big Disco Inferno fan.
This one's going to be a good one. Bastion Burger versus Oz.
If you're going for the worst gimmick,
They were both horrible. I don't think Oz lasted a month, and Bastion Burger didn't last much longer than that.
and so what did Oz go on to be? Vinny
course, that was
Vegas
Kevin
and
Nash.
Diesel, and Bastion
Yes.
Booger went on to be Friar Tuck.
Friar
So
Tuck, and then
I'll have to go Bastion Booger because he went down.
yes, yeah.
He downgraded a bad gimmick to a worse gimmick. Or
then
I don't know, was he Friar Tuck first? I don't
then he-
remember.
And then in WCW, he was Norman the Lunatic,
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with him.
and that's also he was. I think ain't that the same one? It was a Shockmaster.
No, Shockmaster was Tugboat.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yep, right.
Shockmaster.
You could put Tugboat as the worst. Disco Inferno. See, that's why he said Tony didn't have those moves in the 70s. If you ever get Kenneth James on here, we need to ask him about Disco Stew. It was very brief, and he probably wants to forget it. But you ever get him on, leave that question up to me. So
Next one, you guys may not even remember this one. I barely do. The second one, the first one, Max Moon. You guys probably remember him a
he's
little
going
bit.
to shot the crap out.
Yep, Max Moon. And then the other one, Fantazo. He was the mime gimmick. He was in
It would have to
WCW.
be him because I don't remember him.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
Max
Moon.
Moon.
But
Yeah, I would say that Fantazo was the worst. Here's an interesting one: Repo Man or Nails?
I thought Repo Man was a disgrace to Demolition once they went that direction.
Yep.
And
Nails.
Nails.
Nails got fired for choking Vince McMahon.
And he spit all over the place. I go Nails was the worst one.
I'm gonna go Nails.
Yeah. This is from WCW. Glacier or Mortis?
Well, Glacier's still doing promo signings. I haven't heard that other guy forever, so I'm going to have to go with him.
I think the guy that played Mortis is is dead now. I'm trying to remember the guy's name.
Did he go off to be somebody else?
Yeah, he went off to be something else, and then I believe he killed himself. But I can't remember the guy's name. Maybe somebody out there can help me.
Yeah, if somebody can do it, I can pull my phone out.
From WCW, the Kiss gimmick, the Demon versus Mantar in WWF.
You want to hear a funny about Mantar? I got a friend request from that dude like a month ago.
Really?
So I accepted it. Now, there was rumor that Jason Maples played the Mantar gimmick for a while.
Really?
But if you ever, and he's the one that told me that, but if you ever talk to him about it, he don't want anything to talk about it. So I think he may have filled in a few times. Because if you go to Summer or Royal Rumble 96, look at that guy that comes out as Mantar and tell me that's not Jason Maples. And that's the one. That's the show he wants us to. That his wife told me to watch back in 2000.
Royal Rumble, which one?
96, I believe it was.
Okay.
All right, what's that guy's name that you wanted me to look up?
Mortis.
Mortis.
What was his name? I can see his face. He played other people too. He played Diamond Dallas Page kind of gimmick, fake Diamond Dallas Page. He was pretty good in the ring. He actually really was.
Chris Kanyon.
Yep, Chris Kanyon, and he's passed away.
Yeah, he died in 2010. There's a Dark Side of the Ring about him, I think.
Yes, there is, and it was very dark.
Did you watch the Sunny one yet?
I haven't yet.
It's not a lot there that I hadn't already known, so it wasn't bad.
And then I had one last one after Mantar and Kiss Demon, Isaac Yankem and Heidenreich.
Heidenreich's Albert, right?
No, I don't think it was Albert. I don't know. Heidenreich was the one that went with the Road Warriors and became part of the Road Warriors for a very brief, or Legion of Doom for a little bit.
Okay. Well, what did Albert go to be in?
He was quite a few different things. Of course, we know what Isaac Yankem came to be.
And Heidenreich was the third Road Warrior. I remember that now. If you said that.
Yeah. I think Heidenreich was worse even than Yankem.
Yeah, because he did a gimmick, a Road Warrior gimmick. Nobody thought anybody should have ever went there.
Yep.
Even with Puke, Drosner, or whatever, he should never have done that either.
Yep, I agree.
Isaac Yankem. Jerry Lawler's personal dentist. Yep.
Yeah.
See, now you're bringing up shit that we need to talk about next week.
Yeah. Albert was Lord Tenzai. And then I think he was even a couple other things too, if I remember right.
Yeah, I was trying to think of as soon as I saw Lord Tenzai, I remembered that, but I can't think of.
Which, if I remember right, he's still
part of the training.
Yeah, part of the training down there in NXT. To fall back a little bit, back on the NWA for a second. That pay-per-view, Kobe Carino. A lot of people thought he was going to the NXT. His dad's a trainer there, and he was going to sign with him. He showed back up at the NW pay-per-view the other night. So that was, I don't know what happened. Yep, Matt Bloom. And his son, he's got a son that wrestles in NXT. Bloom does.
What's up, Mr. Justin?
Your best friend.
I think he had a big softball game tonight.
Yeah, I think so.
His daughters did, if I remember right from seeing earlier.
Yep. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. Let's see. No, wait a minute. Yep, that's it. This is my stuff for next week.
Are you sure?
Yep.
All right. So what are we doing next week?
We're going to do this super card thing. You're coming up with your own card, 8, 10 matches, whatever you want to do, if you want to do more. But I also had an idea for
No, we're not doing more because I don't want to be like
Okay. Yeah, don't want to be like Walter or Jeffersonville.
Jeffersonville.
And then also I had down what you said about the top skits.
Plenty storylines, yo.
Yep. And then the other thing I wanted to add to the super card thing, let's do a not so super card. People that we wouldn't want to see. And again, 8, 10 matches, whatever. So that'll be for next week.
Well, no, I won't do that. I won't say that. Heart to heart about what? I thought we buried the hatchet. I guess we did not. He had time to think about it. We did bring you up, though, Buck. I did bring you up twice.
Yes, we
Yes,
did talk about Buck a couple times a day.
Yeah, we did.
Here, let me show you something.
I saw that.
Yep.
So we'll leave it at that.
Yes, I saw that you got your DVD. Now,
So you got some autographs,
and then, I wish we could we'd been able to make the show. I wanted to see a few matches on that show, but especially the Dutch Boy and Dalton.
Yeah, they did well.
yeah, I wanted to see that.
When we go off air, I will explain that because I don't want to run stuff for Buck.
Worst match: Viscera versus Great Khali. All right. Anything else?
Nope, I'm good to go.
Do you have anything else, Marcus?
I don't think so. I'll be at both WCWO shows this weekend.
We'll be at Lebanon.
Yep, we'll be at Lebanon on Saturday night. I need to get with that's something I'm trying to do here. I need to get with Joey and see what time we can do everything.
Yeah, and let him know I come in with you guys. I don't think he'd have a problem with it anyway, but
Yeah, I will. He won't. Yeah, he won't. But I will.
normally I just walk in. I just walk in anymore.
You'll like this, Marcus.
No, I've seen another bad one with Christian in it, or Justin in it, but we won't go there. The feud ain't over yet.
Hey, don't lose without help and don't win without help. So I guess
I don't know that feud's ever going to be
What's
over.
he talking about, Travis Southern? I don't remember seeing Travis Southern getting involved in that match. I've seen some dude in the hood, but I never.
actually no. All I ever saw was some guy I never really learned who he was.
No, seeing the guy in the ring take off his mask, but then you couldn't see him because there was 40 people around him. So
So I don't know what he's talking. See, I think the cage must have jarred his memory or ruined his memory. He's probably got amnesia. He probably just woke up and forgot it happened. Justin's going around his house looking for his title, wanting to know what happened to it. I've been known not to see stuff.
have you been following what's his name? I had it on my mind. Hadley lately.
You ever hear funny about Hagley Saturday? Hagley plays a face in Crawfordsville.
Yeah, I know.
He walked up to me. He says, I know I'm a face here, but I'm still not taking my picture with you. And he walked away.
He's completely nuts. That dude on Facebook is completely nuts.
Oh yeah,
Okay, now you ready? Crawfordsville, August. I don't know. Let me look it up. They're doing a double shot weekend. Hagley come back out. He took on Cecil Cerveza because evidently the Russian didn't make it. Hang on, let me look this up. NGW is doing a double shot on the 12th and 13th of August. Hagley challenged Sean Cook and Guy Lombardo, him and his brother, Luis Rojas, challenging Sean Cook and Guy Lombardo, which was their trainers.
Yeah.
And were trained, and those two guys was trained by Basher, and were Basher wrestlers, and they've held titles in WCWO. And Sean and Guy went on to do the CWF, and then went on to do NWA Indiana. Guy recently did Central Wrestling Federation again. So those two possibly are coming out of retirement for that day to take on Hadley and Rojas. And it's going to be fantastic because the day I met Joey Owens and Basher, I also met Sean and Guy. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
we're just waiting to see if the others will accept the challenge. And
All right.
it'll be fire, you know. And then if Buck's still on here, Buck and Jesse now has to defend their title against Excalibur and Zay Gates because they got double pinned and making them the number one contenders. So,
That'll be a good match.
and Kate will take on Thunder Kitty. And that's all I can remember. I thought there was another one.
I want to say it was August 15th. I could be wrong.
12th and 13th.
12th and 13th. Okay. That's close.
All right. Catch up on a couple comments real quick before we get out of here. Justin says he's going to get Marcus some new glasses.
That could be the problem. See, there it is. I knew he's still on there.
So Jesse's shoulder was up and I wasn't legal.
It was a double pin. And Kenneth James was the referee, so that's probably the problem there, too. 'Cause I think Buck and Jesse have heat, so I think it was.
But before we get out of here, we appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at GonzoSportsRoom. We greatly appreciate it. Like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all at GonzoSportsRoom. It's where we post all the different things about our shows. Do you guys have anything else?
Nope. Good to go.
Trying to think. I don't really have nothing else scheduled for this week yet. Saturday, we will, like you said, be at WCWO in Lebanon. I'm looking forward to that. It's always a good time to go down there do something with WCWO. And then we'll be back Monday with another episode of G.W.R. Gonzo's Wrestling Room. We appreciate everybody watching. I hope everybody has a great Monday night.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.